So I'd like to introduce you to Julie.
Okay, welcome everybody. Thank you so much for coming to our show this afternoon. Friends from Sydney, friends from Hill End. And I'd also like to welcome, I'm very excited, Auntie Lola is here, who Auntie and Lola and I work together, and I think it would be good for me to just briefly explain. Gavin did a great job. Thank you, Gavin. Fantastic job of explaining my work, I think. However, I work at Juniperina Juvenile Detention Centre, which is teenage girls, and Auntie Lola is one of the aunties who comes in every other week. And when Kent asked me to think of new work and really get outside my comfort zone and push myself for this exhibition, it was at a time when we were also Lynn, who's here today, and I were working on a programme called Yarning with the Aunties, and we were very involved with going out to staff development. We found ourselves at Parramatta Lakes, and as Gavin said, Uncle Des is a custodian and guide in that area and showed us around, and it just, the way he spoke about his land, about his country, about sleeping on the leaves, which is his preferred place to sleep still after all these years, it did really resonate with me and some of my feelings about Hill End. And it's always been hard for me because I live between Hill End and Sydney, so I'm always trying to find ways to really express myself in my work with that situation. So I went out into the bush, and I call them drawings, these big works on this wall, because I just took a large pot of acrylic paint and dragged paper into the bush, and they're very immediate, just on plein air. And I wasn't really expecting to be looking down as much, but when I did, there were great big shadows. So the one with the yellow behind, for example, is just actually tracing the tree shadow, looking down as an immediate response. And I didn't know that I would even use them in this exhibition, but they kind of, funnily enough, just became really important and totemic. And when I went into the studio, which my process is quite slow and involved, the slow food process, but I glaze work and think about how I could marry, I suppose, the feelings from Parramatta Lakes with Hill End, which is why some of them have tracings of my home in Hill End on top of them, and other ones have the stain of the trees there, which I think that tree, for me, symbolises some of the grief and the pain that I've become aware of working with the aunties and Uncle Des, but also I hope that they convey our friendship and our feeling of absolute joy and sharing our cultures and how interesting that's been. And rather than my previous work had a tracing of an old house on top of a landscape, I thought about that for this show, but when I did that, it looked like it was some sort of colonial stamp on top of the land, and that's not what our relationship's about. It's about moving forward, and we're all very positive when we work together. So that's really why I chose the beautiful shadows, and I hope that these works reflect the lovely relationship that we have. Thank you.